I'll be showing 25 tips and tricks for Microsoft Teams meetings. Teams meetings has had some dramatic updates in the past few months. I'll be showing those, plus the basics as well as some hidden gems. So let's get started. The first tip is setting up the basics for your meeting. So I'm an organizer and I've sent out a meeting and I'm going to click join. Hey, here I am. And I can also control background. So I'm going to click here and choose a background for my video. Now first I can choose blur. This will just simply blur your background. I can also choose other backgrounds here. There's a lot of fun ones I've added. I've downloaded a Minecraft background. That one's pretty fun. There's laser cats, and there's a link in the description where you can download some other backgrounds, but you can choose all sorts of different backgrounds in Teams to make it a little more fun and exciting. You can also add new ones with the button right here, and you can turn it off with this button. Now I can also choose my microphone. So right now it's on, I can set it to off, I can choose my speaker volume, and also this is an important one, device settings. So I'm gonna open this. Now I have choices for my audio devices, my speakers, drop this down, choose different speakers, your microphones, noise suppression, and I'm gonna have some stuff on that in just a little bit, showing some fun ways to use noise suppression in Teams. And then your video cameras. And I have a bunch here. Maybe you've got multiple webcams or your laptop camera. So this is where you can choose all of your device settings. So now let's join the meeting. The second tip is meeting options. And the Teams meeting options have dramatically improved in the past year. I'll go to the three-dot menu here and I'm going to choose meeting options. This opens up the pane on the right. I'll also show how to access them through the browser in just a bit. First is the lobby and who can bypass it. Be everyone, it could be just the organizers and co-organizers, maybe it's people in your organization, but the lobby is a really important setting. And you can say always let people bypass. One that I personally think that is an annoying one is when people are always joining or leaving. By default, this one is on, but you can turn this one to off. You can have co-organizers. Maybe the people who are set to co-organizers are the only ones that can present. So there's some options here. Maybe it's a free-for-all and everyone can present at any time. You can allow mics for attendees and cameras, so you can turn these on or off. Maybe you don't want anyone to be able to share their mic during a meeting or even turn on their camera. And also the chat, is it enabled or is it disabled? Maybe you want to disable chat during the meeting. Even allowing things like reactions and providing cart captions, which is a more inclusive way to provide captioning for your meetings. When you're all set with your settings, hit save right here. And now all the meeting settings are saved. Now briefly I'll show, maybe you want to change all these things before the meeting even starts. You can do that as well. Here are all those same options just in the browser and you can set these before the meeting ever starts. The third tip is noise suppression in your meetings. I'm here in my Teams calendar and we're going to join a noisy meeting to show this, but first off I want to set the actual settings. So in the upper right I'll click my name to drop this down and we'll choose settings. I want to go to devices right here and there's this noise suppression setting. And this is the one that we want to change. So it's set to automatic, which is the default. But if I drop this down, there's a few options. There's off, and that has no suppression. There's low, and there's high. It says choose low if you want others to hear music. So just to give you a sense of where it is. If I choose off, that's where we're going to start. So there'll be no noise suppression. And I'm going to show back and forth what it is when it's off and how loud it can be versus when you turn it on and how much it can reduce that background noise. So we'll choose off. And I'll hit close. Now we're going to join the meeting. Okay, so let's give it a test. First up, the chip test. Now here's a nice bag of chips. You probably hear that. And maybe I'm on a phone call in a meeting and people eating chips in the background. You hear all this crunching. Now I'm going to quickly change the noise suppression. So I'll go back to the upper right here and we'll go to settings again. Go over to devices. Under noise suppression, I will set this to high. So this is going to filter out almost all sounds except for my voice. So let's go and see how this sounds now. Okay, let's try the chip test with noise suppression on high. I didn't hear a lot of crinkling bags, did you? Maybe if I try a chip. I didn't hear much. Now a trick, if you're going to eat chips, you probably want to hide your camera on screen. The fourth tip is uploading and presenting your PowerPoint deck directly into a Teams meeting. I have a PowerPoint deck open, and in the upper right, you're going to see a Present in Teams button that's recently appeared. This is currently in the Office 365 connected PowerPoint desktop. It's also on the slideshow tab. There's a button right here, Present in Teams. So it's in two places. Now, before I click that button, let's make sure that you've already started the Teams meeting. So here's Teams meeting. I'm in this and there's a couple other people, and I'm going to upload my deck directly into here with one click. You need to make sure that the Teams meeting is started before you do this, or else you get a prompt. Okay, back in PowerPoint, I'm going to go into the upper right and click Present in Teams. It starts uploading. Now my entire deck has been uploaded directly into PowerPoint Live mode. I didn't have to click the share tray or upload other things. I just did the one click from PowerPoint and it puts it right into here. And this is this new PowerPoint Live mode inside of Teams. So you can see my slides along the bottom. If I have things like presenter notes, they appear right here. The fifth tip is presenter mode. I'm here in my Teams meeting. I'm going to go up and click on the share tray here, and you're going to see new options for presenter mode. This allows me to superimpose myself over the content. And we've added reporter and side by side to the existing standout view. We also added customize. So I'm going to click this, and this lets me customize the background during those presenter modes. A lot of options here. I'll scroll down. I've chosen the Blackboard, so I'll keep that checked. I'm going to click the back button and now just choose the mode you want. I'll choose side by side first, so click there, and then just choose the window you want. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to share my PowerPoint. Click right here. Now you can see that the PowerPoint window is shared, and this little window here is only seen by the organizer, so you can see exactly what you look like in this presenter mode. And you can minimize it if you want. But for this video, I'm going to show this here only shows for me the organizer. Everyone else just sees the slide behind me. But now you can see I'm superimposed on the right-hand side of the content, and my slide is on the left. This is that side-by-side mode. My Teams background is behind me, and you can see the Blackboard is superimposed behind both pieces of content. Now, if I want to change this view, I can hover in the top, and you can see the Teams sharing options comes down. Let's say I want to hover here, and this way choose reporter mode, and I'll show how it changes. So click this, and now I'm superimposed a little bit bigger, and you can see the content is still to the left of me, and my Teams background with the bricks disappeared, and the Blackboard is all that's there. So now I'm in reporter mode, and that's the way it is. You have other options at the top as well, so I'll show those really quickly. Hover again, and this time I'll choose standout mode. This has already existed, so click here. Now I'm much smaller, and I'm superimposed above the whole PowerPoint slide. And lastly, I can turn off all these presenter modes and just show my screen. I'll hover again, and this time just choose content only. That preview disappears, and this is just my PowerPoint slides ready to go. The sixth tip is updates to dynamic view. Now, if you look in the upper left, you can see the little drop down, so you can choose together mode, gallery, full screen. But we're going to show some new improvements to dynamic view. So first, I'm going to share some content here in presenter mode. So I have my presentation here in PowerPoint Live. Now, one of the things we've allowed is spotlighting multiple people. So in this case, I'm going to go down here and hit the three-dot menu, and I'm going to choose Spotlight and confirm. So now you can see that Ann Cosma is in the spotlight, where she always is because Ann's amazing. Now what you can also do is you can spotlight multiple people. So I'm going to hit the three-dot menu here, and I'm going to spotlight George. So you can add spotlight. So here we go, and confirm. George and Ann are both spotlit. And the other folks, we have Gabby, Jerry, and Adam down below. They are in a smaller space. So this is a really great scenario for if you have a sign language interpreter. For example, you could pin the presenter. Let's say George is presenting and Ann might be the sign language interpreter. You can have a lot of flexibility in how you're going to do your presentation. So I can have the content on the left and multiple people pinned on the right-hand side. And also with dynamic view in the upper left, I can switch here and I can say gallery at top. And you have Ann and George pinned in the upper left, and all the other folks are on the right. And to unpin, I just hit the three-dot menu and choose stop spotlighting. The seventh tip is focus mode. Let's say I'm looking at this presentation and there's some distracting videos on the screen of other colleagues, and I just want to look at the content only. If I go to the upper left and drop this view switcher, if I choose focus on content, let's check this on, you'll see the other videos immediately disappear. Now I can just focus. The eighth tip is a similar one. I'll go to the view switcher in the upper left, drop that down and choose full screen. You'll notice the title bar on the top goes away, and the bottom now it's taking up my entire screen, a little extra real estate to focus on content. And to go back on each of these, I just go here and I will uncheck focus on content. Videos come back, drop this down, uncheck full screen, and we're back to normal. The 9th tip is a really important one, and that is sharing your computer audio in a meeting. So maybe you're playing a video that has audio and you want everyone else to be able to hear that, and you don't want people saying, I can't hear your audio, what's going on? So to do that, click the Share Content button here, and there's a choice, Include Computer Sound. And I'm going to turn this on. Now what I'll do is I'm going to share my screen and I'll play a video, and you'll be able to see how that comes through. Also, sometimes you might forget to check this, and I'll show you how to fix that in real time. I forget that myself often. So let's share the screen, and I'll play my video. So now this audio is coming through to all the other people on the call. Now let's say you forgot to share your audio, or you just want to double check that you actually did. If you hover at the top right here, this little bar drops down and you can see that the audio is shared. And if I hover here, it's the audio computer sharing sound. If for some reason it was unchecked and I forgot to share it like it is here, I can easily go up and say, oh, and uncheck that. And you can see that now it's shared. The 10th tip is enhancements to PowerPoint Live. This time I'll go to the share content tray and I'll turn on standout mode, and we'll do a PowerPoint Live presentation. So I'll upload something from my computer here. I'm uploading, and here I am in PowerPoint. And I can navigate my slides. I'm in presenter view, and you can see this is how it's going to look to the audience if I'm in PowerPoint Live. You can see that the little standout view is right here. I can turn on content only and I'll go away. Oh, I disappeared. Now I'm down here in the lower right again, and I can turn this back on again just like I did before. So it's really nice to be able to have this standout view to make your presentations more engaging. The 11th tip is a laser pointer in PowerPoint Live. So I'm here in PowerPoint Live, and you're going to notice now there's some laser pointers and pens and other great tools. So if I'm on this slide here and I want to turn on the laser pointer and I want to be highlighting certain parts, like this part here is really important, I draw a little circle and it's temporary, so it goes away. So I can point to something like this. So this is great if you're doing some sort of a presentation and you want to annotate that's just temporary, just like pointing to things with a laser pointer. The 12th tip is translating your slides into another language in a single click using PowerPoint Live. So I'm presenting here, but this also works for attendees. So as the presenter, let's just show how this works. I click the three-dot menu and you're going to see Translate Slides. And I've got a bunch of languages. We'll be adding more languages in the future, but to start, you have quite a few choices. Let's say I want to translate these slides into Spanish. I click that. Immediately, it real-time translates all of these slides. It's pretty incredible. All my slides now are in Spanish. Just to show on the attendee side, I'm signed in here as Henry, and I also see the three-dot menu. I can go here and translate slides. Let's say Henry wants to see it in Italian. Molto bene. There is your Italian. The 13th tip is the order of hands being raised. So I'm an organizer here, and I'm going to open up the participant pane here. I have my attendees here, but I want to be able to see what order are people raising their hands. Well, now you can do this. Let's see. Now it looks like two different people have raised their hands. I see the little 2 here on the participant notification, but in the pane here, I can actually see a 1 next to Alex's hand and a 2 next to Henry's hand. So this lets me easily tell the order of people raising their hands. It also shows across the top here, but without the number. And also just an older feature, but it's kind of nice. If someone forgets to lower their hand, I can easily go into here and hit the three-dot menu and choose lower hand. That puts down Alex's hand, and now you can see that Henry is in the pole position with a 1 next to his hand. The 14th tip is improvements to the hard audio mute feature. So in this case, I'm going to go to the three-dot menu. I don't want Alex, Henry, or Ella to be able to unmute their microphones. And I'm going to say disable the microphones for all attendees. Choose that, and then, hey, disable the mics to confirm. Yep. So you'll note the little microphones are completely disabled now, and no one can enable them. In the past, it was an all or nothing thing, and the only way that you can allow them to unmute their mic was to promote them to be a presenter, which is kind of complicated. But now with this new update, I can go to Ella, let's say, hit the three-dot menu, and I can just allow her to unmute her microphone. So now you can see Ella can unmute herself. The other ones are still fully disabled. Henry and Alex, if you see their little microphones, they're completely disabled. In addition, I can go to the three-dot menu here and choose something like this, and I can even go allow mic just from that three-dot menu. So now both Henry and Ella are able to unmute themselves if they would like. The 15th tip is disable video in meetings. This allows anyone who's the organizer of a meeting to disable all the videos of the participants or allow enabling or disabling one at a time. So first off, I'm going to hit the Show Participants pane, and I'm the organizer in this meeting, and I'm going to go to the three-dot menu here, and you'll see this Disable Camera for Attendees. So I'm going to click this and confirm. Bye-bye, everyone. I've just disabled your video. I feel pretty bad about that. Now you can see here all the little videos are disabled where I'm hovering. I can go onto an individual. So in this case, I want to have Ann Cosma, and I can say Allow Camera. I hit the three-dot menu because we know Ann is always having something nice to say and show us. I've re-enabled you. Hey, Ann!
Turn it back on already.
Good job. And now I can click on a three-dot here. You know, Journey, I feel like I'm going to allow your camera too, so I can click the three-dot on here and say Journey can re-enable. Hey, Journey, welcome back. And if I go back to the three-dot menu here, I'll say Allow all cameras for attendees. Confirm. You can all now re-enable your cameras. Welcome back, everyone. The 16th tip is a dramatically improved and renovated whiteboard app in your Teams meeting. I'm going to go to the shared tray here and choose Microsoft Whiteboard. This opens the brand new whiteboard, which is also based on Microsoft Fluid components. You can see there's a new user interface on the left-hand side. You still have the ink pens on the top. And for example, I can turn the ink pens off by clicking here, and I could hide this by just closing it. And if I click the pen again, the ink pens come back, and click plus to open this pane. Now there's lots of options here. The one I want to show first is probably the coolest one in my opinion, which is templates. If I click here, I have all these beautiful template options: brainstorming, problem solving, strategy, games, etc. So if I go to brainstorming, for example, I've got all these different options that are pre-created. So let's choose affinity diagram and then click. It creates this beautiful board which I can use collaboratively with other people in the meeting. So anyone can go in and start filling out different parts of this. I can zoom in and zoom out by just scrolling the mouse wheel and holding down the control key. Let's look at a few others. Undo to remove it, hit the back button. A bunch of really cool options in here. Let's choose assumption grid, go here and click. A whole new different design board that's a template. I encourage you to explore in here. There's even fun things like games, 2 truths, 1 lie. There's workshops, team alignment workshop, for example. This is the last one that I'll show. Again, it creates these beautiful setup whiteboard templates, and you can just go in here and collaboratively have people fill these out. And I'll hit the back button again, and we'll go back here. So you can choose your other options like you normally would. So notes. So here are my sticky notes. I can go here and click on different notes on the board. There are also note grids. This is new. If I click on note grids and then here and click, I get a grid of notes. I can zoom in like this. Lots of options for putting little note grids and brainstorming. So go over here, click again, and I'll hit the back button. Text is similar as before. We have shapes like before, so it's really easy to click and drag little shapes out onto the board and change the colors. We also have a new option, which is reactions. This is really cool, a new one. If I click reactions, now you can have people put their reactions onto the board. So something they like, maybe I have a thumbs up, I like this one and I like this one over here. Maybe if I don't like something, I hit the X. So you can have people put their little thumbs up and other reactions onto the board or whatever else that you're presenting or showing. So this gives a lot of options when you're trying to calculate how many things people like or they're voting on. And these reactions are really handy to be able to use with your whiteboard. The last new feature in Whiteboard I'll show is in the upper right. If I click here, you're going to see an option to format the background. So I'll click here, and now I can choose different backgrounds. So a lot of options to make your digital canvas look a little bit different paper-wise or design-wise. Also, I can choose colors. So here's a grid, here's dark, here's green, here's yellow, and this is graph paper. Maybe I want ruled paper, or maybe I want diamonds, and we'll close that. The 17th tip is live captions and speaker attribution. So I'm here presenting inside of Teams. I have my class. We're going to go through my solar system deck. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is turn on live captions. So the three-dot menu, I go here and choose turn on live captions. And you can see along the bottom that now it is captioning with my name next to it. Now I'm going to ask the class what their favorite planet is. So, hey folks, what is your favorite planet?
My favorite planet is Mars because M is my favorite letter.
My favorite is Jupiter because it's the largest planet in our solar system.
And my favorite is also Saturn. The rings are gorgeous.
Well, great. And as people can see, as they've been talking, it captions right next to their name and their picture. And then on the right-hand side, you were seeing their video gets highlighted, so it makes it really easy to tell who's talking. The 18th tip is meeting transcription and recordings. So let's go turn on the transcript. I'll hit the three-dot menu here and choose Start Transcription. Now on the right-hand side, you'll see that the transcript is open, and as I'm talking in real time, it will be captioning everything that I say. So Anne, I want to know from you, our friend Elon Musk is planning a trip to Mars. What do you think about that?
I think it's going to be an incredible day when man actually gets to Mars.
Any other comments from the class on a trip to Mars?
Would you go if you had the opportunity to go?
Only if I could go with Matt Damon. Then it would be cool. So you can see the entire transcript is going along the right-hand side. And I'll also go and choose Stop Transcription. And I'll turn off live captions. Now I'm done and I'm in the Teams meeting chat for the meeting we just finished. You can see that that meeting recording is right here. And I could do things like open it up, I could share it. And also this meeting transcript is here. Now if I click this, it opens this up into this new recordings and transcripts tab. And now I have the entire transcript that we just talked about. And I can download this, so I can download it as a VTT file, which is common for transcripts, or as a Word document, or I can delete this. The 19th tip is the AI-infused content from camera. I'm here in a Teams meeting, and I'm going to go up to the top and click the share tray. You'll see a new choice that's called content from camera. Click this. There's three options: whiteboard, document, and video. And we're going to show whiteboard today, but you can experiment with some of the other ones. Choose whiteboard. This brings you to the new dialog for content from camera. Click got it. What it's going to do is it's going to look automatically for a whiteboard. It's going to scan the zone, and it found a whiteboard. And you saw that it put little borders around it. And you can see me, hey, I'm superimposed on top of that. I have some options. I can change my camera right here. I can choose the content type. We'll leave it at whiteboard. I can turn off the presenter overlay. So, hey, look, now I'm looking normal. Click that on and to put you into overlay mode. You can even choose to detect the edges or not. And you can choose to scan again if you want to get a better scan. I'll click share. Now I'm sharing and I'm going to go write on the whiteboard. So right now you can't see what I'm writing. So I'm watching the meeting. I'm like, oh, what's Mike writing? When I'm done writing, the AI is going to detect this. So now TPS report has been detected. Now watch what happens. I can get in front of that. I underline it. So now I can get in the whiteboard and write things, and it overlays. It's really powerful. Hey, look at me. I'm dancing in front of the TPS report. And you always got to make sure to have those cover sheets. So this is a really great way for remote work and hybrid work. Hey, here I am. You could say, don't overlay the presenter. I could also choose snapshot. Watch what happens there. Now there's a snapshot of that whiteboard in the lower right. The 20th tip is intelligence-powered polls using forms technology. So I'm going to go here to a meeting I've set up, and I'm going to choose Edit. Now we have the ability to add a Forms app, so I'm going to click plus here. And let's choose Forms, and this has existed already. Click Save. Now it added the Polls tab here, but here's the new parts. You get suggestions automatically, poll suggestions. So I could say, how are you feeling, how energized, or what's the status of your current task? Let's do how are you feeling today. I'm going to select this one and add poll to meeting. So now I've got this poll all ready to go. I could create new ones right here, click create new, and I have other suggestions here. So there's a whole bunch of different suggestions. Maybe I'll do you agree with this proposal as well? And this is similar technology that has already been shipped in Teams meetings with forms. Now you just get that automatic suggestion to speed it up and save yourself some time. So this looks pretty good. I'll click save. Now I have two different polls ready to launch in my meeting. The 21st tip is quick quiz multiple choice options inside of Teams meetings with your polls. So just like we created before, I'm going to create new right here. And instead of a multiple choice poll, in this one, I'm going to do multiple choice quiz. So I can do a quick quiz. This is great for education, or in the enterprise environment, you want to quiz people on what you've been talking about. So I'll select this here, and I can give a couple of options. And so we'll say, what is Mike's favorite app? Oh, and automatically I get some suggestions. So I'll add a couple more here. We'll add an option, Sway, Stream, Forms, Delve. So here are all the options about what my favorite app is. I'm only going to allow one answer. And note, you got to select what is the right answer. So I'm going to say, OneNote is my favorite app. That's the correct answer, but no one else knows that. Okay, let's save this. Great. And now I'm ready to launch this once I join the meeting. So let's go back into the meeting. Okay, we'll go back up and click the Forums button here. Scroll down and you can see what is Mike's favorite app. Let's launch that one. All right, my favorite app. I'll choose OneNote because I know that one. And I'll hit submit. And you can see the little green check mark down here. That's the right one. But if then someone else guesses a different answer, it'll show up on the X. The 22nd tip is the ability for the organizer to lock the meeting, meaning no one else can join after I lock it. Maybe I don't want any distractions or disruptions after I get going. So I will go here and click on the Show Participants pane. And then I'm going to go to the three-dot menu and I'm going to choose Lock the Meeting. And I'm going to click this. It gives me a prompt, hey, after I choose this, no one else can join. But people can still access the chat, the recording, and other meeting info. They just can't join during the meeting happening. So I'll click Lock. Now I get a little prompt up here that says the meeting is locked, no one else can join. I'll dismiss it. So, Rosie Patterson right here, she never joined the meeting even though I invited her. I guess she's not going to be able to join. Now, if I was really hardcore, I could leave it locked, but I feel a little bit bad about Rosie not being able to join on time. So you can unlock it as well. I go back to the three-dot menu here and I choose to unlock the meeting. There we go. I'll unlock it. People can rejoin again and you get a little prompt at the top. The 23rd tip is the ability to pre-create breakout rooms. So I've sent out a breakout rooms meeting to a set of people here and I'm the organizer. I'm going to click it and then choose edit. What you'll see is there's a breakout rooms tab right here and I'm going to click this. Here's the new create breakout rooms pre-meeting experience. So I'm the organizer and I'm going to click create rooms and I'm going to say I need 4 rooms and we'll click add rooms. Now here are the 4 rooms ready to add people to. Now I can assign participants here and I can choose automatically or manually. I'll pick automatic and go next, assigning participants. Now you can see all these rooms have participants assigned. I can go to the three-dot menu and I'll choose edit to rename the rooms. Hit save and I'll name the other ones. Now I've named my 4 rooms. If I have other participants, I can go up here and I can easily change the rooms that they're in. So maybe I want to have Alex join the green room instead and hit assign. Now I look in here and I see that has 4 participants and Alex is now in that green room. So now I can join the meeting up here and join. If I click on the breakout rooms icon here, and it opens up the pane, you'll see all of the people are assigned to these 4 different rooms. I can still assign new people and I have all the other options for breakout rooms that I normally would. The 24th tip is live captions languages for your Teams meetings. I'm going to go to the three-dot menu here and I'm going to turn on live captions. You can see along the bottom that live captions are coming in English. This has been something that's been supported for a little while. The new update is now I can change languages for the entire group. So what that means is, let's say I go down to the three-dot menu in the lower right. I click this and say change spoken language. Let's say I'm in a meeting and everyone is speaking Norwegian. This is going to change live captions for everyone. So to be really clear, when you change this, it changes live captions for everyone in that meeting. So it's not each person chooses their own, it is changing it for everyone. So I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to choose Norwegian. And when I click confirm, I'll speak in a little bit of Norwegian that I know, and that's going to change along the bottom. So this is going to change for everyone. Jeg snakker litt norsk. Vi liker iskrem. Now at the top, notice that it says spoken language was set to Norwegian, and that bubble appears for everyone in the meeting. So if I want to change the language to Spanish, it'll change the language for live captions to everyone who's going to be on this call. The 25th tip is the Q&A app that you can add into your Teams meeting. This allows you to really easily manage questions and answers during might be a webinar or other large meeting where there's a lot of questions happening. Now I've set up my meeting right here as the organizer. I'm going to click it and I'll choose to edit. Now this is before the meeting starts. I will go up to the plus menu and there's a new app called Q&A. And if you don't see it, just search for it right here. I'll click Q&A and then add. This is the setup screen that you'll see for the Q&A app. So first you can say, yeah, I want to allow attendees to ask new questions and respond to conversations. You can choose to turn these on or off during the meeting or before. I'll leave them on before the meeting starts. This one here, allow organizers to moderate attendee conversations. If I check this one on, I cannot turn it off once the meeting starts, but I'm going to do this for allowing moderation. Now I'll click save. What this does on the meeting organizer side is it adds this Q&A tab. So my Q&A tab is all ready as the organizer, and I'm going to click join. I'm here in my meeting and I have Ella and Alex, and we're going to try out the Q&A feature. What you'll see is in the top there's this little Q&A icon, and that is what I added just before the meeting. So I'll click this. Now the pane is opened up and there are no questions that have been asked so far, but I have a feeling that Alex is going to ask one. I'm signed in as Alex and I'm a meeting attendee, and I'll go to the top here and click Q&A. This opens up the Q&A panel for the attendee side, and so I'm going to ask a question. Click here, and here's my little spot to ask my question. When is the drop dead date that I have to start using these new TPS report cover sheets? And I'm going to highlight this part here and choose bold. You can also do indent. If you hit the three-dot menu, you can add links, you can add bullets and other things, but I'll keep it pretty simple right here and click post. Now, because I'm an attendee, I have to have the organizer go and approve that question. So I'm going to flip back now to the organizer account and show how that works, where I will publish a question to my audience. I'm signed back in as the organizer, and as you can see, Alex's question just popped up under my in review area. So I can publish this or I can dismiss it. Maybe it's an inappropriate question. I'm just going to dismiss that. If I go to the three-dot menu, I can also just delete it. But in this case, I'm going to publish it because this is a very important topic. So I'll hit publish. Now, if I click on the publish tab, you'll see Alex's question is there. And because, I am a big fan of TPS reports, I can give that a thumbs up. If you hover, you can have a bunch of different reactions, but I'll give it a thumbs up. I could also comment right here, and I'm going to just answer this question and respond. Tomorrow's the drop dead date. And I have the same options here, bold, italicize, and adding links and other things. So I will post the response to this question. Now, other people can respond as well. Other people can give it a thumbs up, and they can have other options. I'm the organizer, so I have the chance to mark as the best answer, because sometimes there's a lot of answers, and my answer is the best. So I'm going to mark that as the best answer. Woo! And then you get a little check mark like that. Now, as the organizer, I have access to all the meeting details afterwards, and right at the top, there's a Q&A tab like we started with. If I click here, now I can see all of the same things I saw in the meeting. I go to published. Here are the questions that we were working on. If you had dismissed topics, they'd be here, the pinned area, and other people can come in here as well. So you could even have questions happening after the meeting. If you found this video useful, give it a like. Now, if you want to keep up with all the latest videos I'll be releasing, subscribe to my channel and then just ring the bell to keep notified for all the latest posts.